Did y'all know that they send baby brokers into the county jails and prisons to try to convince women to SELL their kiddos once they're born for 20 grand? I spent 10 years in prison. I've been out a couple years. Unfortunately, before that, I spent like a couple years in the county jail fighting my case. And y'all are not going to believe the shit I'm about to tell you because it's absolutely wild. But it's real. It happens. And it happened to me. And nobody talks about it. Ooh, I hope I don't get it for this. But here it is. When you get locked up, when you go to the county jail, you fill out this barrage of paperwork, okay? You fill out like your emergency contact, if you're married, if you have other kids, if you have a job, if you have an addiction, a substance abuse problem, if you're actively like withdrawing from any substances and all these kinds of things. Now, this paperwork usually just goes in a chart, no big deal. But if you come in and you're actually pregnant, that paperwork all of a sudden becomes this sort of like an interview process. It's used to kind of gauge and vet the individual to see how likely they are to sell their kiddos. And what ends up happening is you will get assigned a quote unquote counselor, let's say, okay? And this counselor will call you in and try to go over a birth plan, okay? I mean, I'm using all these terms very loosely, but yeah, you'll kind of start to develop a birth plan where you will tell the counselor who's going to pick up your baby when he or she is born, how they're going to care for the baby and things like that. They can also see and have access to if you have money on your books or not, if someone's taking care of you, if people are writing you. So they know what you're going through and how desperate you are. Because let's be real, they want you to be desperate so that you'll take the bait, right? So when they called me in there to the counselor the first time, she explained to me that there's two kinds of adoptions. And she noticed that I wasn't married, I didn't have any other kids, and I was also on substances. So basically what ended up happening was she's like, listen, Miss Gomez, there's a public adoption and a private adoption. And I don't know if you ever thought about this. And I was like, skirt, whoa, ma'am. Like, what in the actual fuck are you talking about? Because nobody's adopting my child. But she stopped me and she was like, no. Hold on. It's just for informational purposes, okay? I'm like, okay. So I'm trying not to be absolutely freaking off the wall disrespectful, and I allow her to keep talking, and she ends up telling me that public adoptions are overseen and governed by the state of Florida Department of Family, and a lot of times there's a very long waiting list. Most people want newborns and infants. There is a shortage of newborns. So what happens is a lot of people will go to a private adoption agency, which is not overseen by anybody. You're paying money for a child basically, and in turn you are getting an attorney that is legal, a company that is legit, and a parent that is willfully giving up their kid to somebody else for X amount of money. Okay, it's all legit, it's all legal. And the main part is not only are you likely to get a newborn that way, but you don't also have to meet all the criteria that the state makes you go through. Like the state says you can't have any felonies, you can't have a substance abuse problem, you have to have a certain home, a certain type of home, certain things in your home, a certain job, and you have to make a certain amount of income, all that. Like, you don't have to go through all that and go through loops and hoops and dupes. When you go through a private adoption agency, you just got to fork out the cash, baby. That's all they want is get paid. Okay. The counselor proceeded to let me know that there is a woman that comes every Wednesday and she talks to all the pregnant women. And sure enough, I saw it. She came every Wednesday and she called everyone out one by one. So when she called me out and it was my turn, this bitch had the audacity to look at me and run this shit down. So she's like, okay, this is how it goes. It kind of seems from your counselor's notes that you're probably going to get a little time in prison and you're not married and have no other kids. So what we offer, bitch. Okay, what we offer is $20,000. Now, you will get that over a set amount of months deposited into your inmate bank account. The parents will be in the hospital, but you won't meet them. I, however, will be in the room with you holding your hand since your family can't be there. Like, if that's supposed to make me feel, butterflies, ooey gooey inside, like, come on, bitch. Anyways, I digressed. Okay. So then she says she will bring me a set of, a series of paperwork that I need to sign. And one of them is termination of parental rights. So it's a TPR, I think. And I will sign that. And then I will hand my beautiful bundle of joy over. And in return for all the honey buns and soups and deodorants that I got to buy, they get their newborn and I get my 20 grand. If anything goes awry and, you have a medical issue or you have a medical issue during the pregnancy, not just like during the birth, but during the pregnancy, they will take care of you. They will fund anything that needs to be funded. And basically, they're at your beck and call. If you need them, they will be your support system for all 9 or 10 months of the pregnancy. once those papers are signed and they take their baby, then bitch, you're pretty much on your own. But that's how it is. And when she was done giving me this spiel, I'm like, women actually do this shit? And she's like, oh yeah. You know, you got to think, Miss Gomez, there's a lot of women who can't afford to care for these kids, to support them. They have a lot of things going on in life, or they might be going to prison, so family members are too elderly and can't take care of them themselves. Like, there's a lot of reasons why this is beneficial. And it kind of got me thinking, maybe it is beneficial for some of these families to care for these babies and adopt them, but I don't know. There was something that just felt so fundamentally wrong about the whole thing. A lot of women did it, but you know where the women did it even more? In prison. So in prison, you could actually ask to see these private adoption agencies, and in prison, you really for real need money. So a lot of women in prison would do that. And then they would come back after having their baby and lie and say that their baby got taken home by a family member, and nobody would ever know. But in prison, tons of women sold their babies. So I don't know, guys. What do y'all think? What do you mamas think? Like, can y'all see both sides of it? Do you guys think it's like a hard hell no for you too? Because I can personally be like, hell no, but then also see how it might be beneficial to a child in a different situation who has a real shitty mom. So anyways, people don't talk about this enough. I don't really think it's ethically or morally right to target people that are in a desperate situation like incarceration. But at the same time, if a baby's going into the foster system, this might be a better outcome. I don't know. I'm like all over the effing place. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. I don't know. I just wanted to share this with you guys because it hit me the other day and I was like, what? I saw some TikTok about a guy who like adopted a baby and was like, how do I brush the baby's hair and all this stuff? And I'm thinking, holy shit, I've never even told my people this. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a heart, leave me a comment letting me know what you think, follow for more. It's free for you guys to do those things, but it's super encouraging and it helps out a ton. Really, I do appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.